Here he comes, ladies and
Get the
gentlemen.
heck out of here. This is a crazy town.
Welcome to my humble studio, sir.
Hello.
How are you, Howard?
Hey, Alex.
Have a seat.
Hello.
Hi.
Now, first of all, it's been 6 years and
There are
you've never
so many
said
people in
hello.
here.
I didn't even know you guys were down here. I had no idea you even did a show live from here. And as by the way, your beautiful
Thank you very
female
much.
co-host, is it true JD hit on you?
Yes.
It is.
Kind of.
And you decided not to.
And you
What's
just-
with
The microphone. You just broke our microphone.
All right. I came here to explain to you guys, and thank you for having
Give
me
him
on.
your microphone.
Here, take this.
Thank you. This is some equipment. I'd be better off on a podcast.
Okay, we don't have the Taj Mahal you've got.
All right, Alex.
Yes,
You
Howard.
said I was just listening to the tape of
Yeah.
your rap on the Benji Bronk incident.
Yeah.
And I was offended because, and also hurt because you're ashamed to work at Sirius now. And
no, I didn't say. I said there are
You- it was a-
moments when I feel sometimes ashamed to be here because of some action by somebody.
all right. Well,
All right.
Hi,
What
what's your
happened?
name?
What happened?
My mic
What-
is
you-
hello?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, what are you doing? All right.
And
What
we
is
can
she
hear
doing?
her on the phone. What's going on?
Yeah.
Now my mic's off.
Well, turn-
You guys run a show like I do.
There.
All right, anyway. So, Alex,
Yes.
what I'm trying to say is
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Number one,
Yes.
as far as the Benji Bronk shtick being
Yeah.
old,
Mm-hmm.
it's not old. This is something that we do.
Yeah.
This is something that we take great pleasure in.
Mm-hmm.
We thought going down to the Anthony Weiner thing, while I do
Yeah.
admit that it maybe didn't work in that setting, the idea is that we were trying, and we're trying to make things happen. And because we are here at Sirius, we have to constantly make things happen. You go for them. Some are funny, some aren't,
Mm-hmm.
but you try to do your job the best you can. And I am issuing this to your show and all the other shows at Sirius. Make waves, make noise. This is what's going to keep this company going. We're based on subscribers, and we need subscribers. And when we go out there and we mix things up and we get attention, we are bringing in subscriptions.
So does that mean I should go out on the street now, expose my penis, let people take pictures of it, and me say I work at Sirius?
Yes, absolutely. You should be doing that constantly. Listen, no, I don't say do something you're uncomfortable with. But I'll tell you how the whole Benji thing came about. Benji said, I want to go over to the press conference. And I said to him, well, if they're asking questions, sure, jump in with your questions. And some of them were very funny questions. The question of whether or not he would maintain his body now that he couldn't tweet anymore. Is it true he's a full 7 inches? The man did a ridiculous act. He had said, I'm resigning. He went in front of the press and therefore didn't want any questions from the press. The whole thing was a circus anyway. It was a setup. I don't even think it was a legitimate thing. If he wanted to resign and do it privately without questions, he should have done what Richard Nixon did.
He should-
Sat in his office and resigned and read off a teleprompter. He got up in front of the press and said, I'm not going to answer any questions, which is absurd. True, Benji yelled out and you couldn't hear what he said. But the bottom line is this. It created a lot of noise. Benji went out and tried to be funny. And I don't think that's old. I started doing this stuff, yes, 20 years ago.
I think it's really old and tired.
It's not old and tired. In fact, you know, you were saying you reinvent yourself. You can't reinvent yourself unless people know you're here. You're on Sirius XM. You've got to get listeners.
look,
You've got to do new things, and you've got to mix it
Can
up.
I say something very conciliatory?
Okay,
here?
go ahead.
People are listening to me. When I first came here, there were 350,000 people
That's right.
listening to Sirius. You came here, built that thing up to where we had a lot of people.
Right.
And so the reason I have a lot of listeners is because you helped me get a lot of listeners.
That's what I'm saying.
So that I appreciate, and that and I don't deny you any of that.
But I don't feel people have a right around. They have a right to comment on
Yeah.
what I do, but I don't think it's fair because what I'm trying to do is I'm busting my balls every day to make sure we're out there, we're out in the public, we're doing things,
Yeah.
we're getting mentioned. I'm going on talk shows. I'm cheerleading
And that's
this
all
thing
legitimate.
so that this universe can exist. In fact, I say that I'm God
all
here
I'm
because
saying
I've created a
all
universe.
I'm saying is,
Yeah.
here's a guy like Weiner,
Right.
completely embarrassed, right?
Yes.
It, I think, took a lot of chutzpah for him to get up there and do a press conference. Why he even did a press conference, I think it was pure ego.
Right.
But-
Absolutely.
But why he did a press conference is beyond me. He could have sent out a note, and said, I'm resigning.
Especially if he doesn't want to answer questions from the press. Why
Yeah.
have a press conference? What
Well,
is the point?
For whatever egotistical reason he did that.
Right.
It had to be an incredibly humiliating circumstance to get up there in front of that crowd and say, I'm quitting, goodbye.
Right.
And to exacerbate that more, you can't. Benji couldn't have done anything to embarrass that man any more than he had already been embarrassed.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
I don't think it was so much about embarrassing Wiener as the ridiculousness of the situation. I agree with you. It didn't work as a comedy piece, but we're out there trying. And if you don't try, if you don't go out and take risks, I was saying
But
on the
I
air.
don't consider that a risk, Howard.
Of course it is. I'll tell you why it
consider it
is.
a cheap shot.
No, not at all. In fact, 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, I started doing a routine where I'd go out on red carpets. I'd put a big tape recorder on my back, and I'd walk around, and I would walk on a red carpet, and I would ask embarrassing questions. And a couple of times I almost got beaten up. A couple of times I got yelled at by members of the press. I took a lot of heat. And yet, was I ruining? Someone said I ruined the backstage at the Academy Awards. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. It's a joke.
I don't disagree with.
So I went there, and it's true. I used it for my own purposes, but it helped catapult my career. It helped make my show funnier, and people loved it. And when I look at what Benji did, Benji said, I'm going to take a shot and try something. If I had been standing next to Benji, would I have said, wait until they ask questions, and then that would be funny? Some of these questions might be sort of funnier. I'd like to hear what the guy has to say. Probably I would have. But Benji went out there and took a shot. And so I approve of that. I do. And I wouldn't rein him in from doing that. I would say, go ahead, as long as you're not hurting someone, as long as you're not going out with a gun and shooting somebody. But if you're out there and you're part of the circus of this thing, which it is a circus, it's a guy who is showing his dick. And he's in there dressed up in his suit. And he's making an announcement. I want to thank my interns.
Howard,
it sounded like an Academy Awards
you got
speech.
A studio in there with a stripper pole and a Sybian, I assume, because I've never been invited to see the
you
studio.
can come in anytime.
And yet here you are going after a guy for exposing his penis.
I'm not going after. I said he shouldn't resign.
By the way, there's only one alleged picture of his penis. The rest of them were just towels and things like that.
I don't think he should have resigned. I said that on the air. I said if Ted Kennedy, who drowned a woman, and he went to bed that night, he slept it off, and then he called the cops. And the guy was a respected United States senator. Bill Clinton got blowjobs in the White House from an intern, and survived that. A guy texting, I don't know. I don't think it's so bad.
So if you're defending him, why go out and embarrass him?
Because it was a press conference that was a circus. Benji didn't get it. I think it would have actually, you would have applauded it had Benji been mic'd as part of a press conference where they were allowed to ask questions.
Had they asked
what you're being
questions,
critical. Here's my problem. You're being critical.
I would have agreed that at the end, if he yelled something at him,
that's right.
that'd be okay.
But you're being critical of a guy who tried. And what I'm suggesting today is, and I say this to all serious personalities, you got to go out and try. Everyone stop resting on their laurels.
How was trying, though, Howard?
Going out and making comedy. Did it work this time? No, but 20 times it can work. It can work. And as far as it being old and tired, it's never old and tired to take a microphone, to go out on the street and become part of the circus that is life, if you can make it funny.
Okay.
We are critical of Benji because maybe he didn't hit a home run. But did he hit a home run for Sirius? Yes. Was Sirius mentioned on every television channel? Was Sirius?
No, it really wasn't that much.
It was. We just played at least 50.
They said Howard Stern a lot, but they didn't say Sirius.
And where does Howard Stern work?
A lot of people don't know anymore.
Let me tell you, management around here doesn't know either. Howard Stern works at Sirius. Howard Stern works every day. If Howard Stern brings in subscribers, who cares how they get here?
Not every day.
Well, that's right. I don't. But when I'm here, it's an event. And the reason it's an event is you never know what's going to happen. Benji could fuck up. Anyone could do anything weird, but that's what I'm after. And we haven't rested on our laurels. We're going out there and trying to mix it up. And I say that to all personalities. I'm only begging every personality here to make sure that they get on TV today, to make sure that they somehow spread the word.
Have you met our PR department?
Yeah, I have.
They don't really help them much.
They don't. And I'm disappointed in that.
Yeah.
And so I want you today, Alex, to applaud Benji Bronk for trying.
No.
What do you think? Who's with me?
She loves Benji. She thinks Benji's
I don't know if
terrific.
It works.
Here, I'll
Let me
turn
hold
on
it to
your
you.
mic.
Go ahead.
I agree. One big happy dysfunctional family.
You bet. Alex,
yeah,
that's my message today. And God bless you.
I'm sorry that we've had to meet under these circumstances.
I was taking off on you pretty heavy.
Because for years, we've known of each other.
That's right. I'm glad I finally got to see you and meet you in the flesh.
Yes.
And I am glad to sit here with all of you. Keep on broadcasting. Keep on carrying on. And remember, start off every show with Praise Howard. We love Howard. Howard. All we can think about is Howard.
Is there money in it for me?
Of course there is. You have a job here because the more Howard, the bigger our universe gets. And that is my message today.
What about the little people, Howard?
They don't matter. Only I matter. Remember that. Little person. Well, you happen to matter. Believe me, in a big way.
Yeah.
But that's another story. No, you do matter. But I am here. I am available. If you need me, come call. You've got a friend. All right.
Howard, it's taken 6 years,
All right,
but
Alex,
it's good
thank
to meet you.
I didn't even know you lived in New York anymore. I thought you were a San Francisco
Oh, you knew
guy.
I was here.
I didn't know you. I swear to God, on my life, I did not know you were.
You mentioned me on your show
No,
saying
I didn't.
he's here. It's serious.
I didn't know you were here in the building doing the show.
Oh, you thought I was somewhere else.
I thought you were somewhere else. I only see me in the morning. I don't see anybody walking through the halls. It's like a dead zone here.
Well, I know you have that whole entourage, and you go down the elevator, and it's like, don't get near.
Do you ever run into Cousin Brucey?
Yes.
And that's got to be a thrill for you.
It is.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And what does he say to you? He goes, Cousin Alex.
Well, he talks about himself.
He does. Yeah, right. All right. Thank you guys for
Thank
allowing
you
me
very
to come
much,
down
Howard,
here.
for coming down here.
I feel we straightened everything out or not.
I don't know that I agree with you 100% on the Benji Bronk thing, but I do agree with one thing, and that is every day we should try and make assholes out of ourselves.
Absolutely. The bigger the asshole, the bigger the what?
The bigger the ratings?
The bigger the subscription rates go up. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Howard's going back to his show now.
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We'll be right
Okay.